They paid a fine, I think it was $770 million. They stole an additional $4 billion. It reminds me of Milken, only Milken did 2 years. He stole $3 billion. He gave $1 billion back to the government. The other $2 billion he kept. He got out of jail in 18 months. To show you how stupid people are. In West L.A., they named a street for him, and another school was named for him. It just shows you how jaded and stupid a convicted felon. And then he's on CNBC all the time, like the grand guru, like he never did anything. So on Wall Street, where I spent 29 years of my life, it's okay to be a crook. And if you're connected in the Council on Foreign Relations, or the Trilateral Commission, or the Bilderberger Group, you never go to jail. The worst you ever do is pay a fine, and your firm pays it. And the following day, after the fine's been paid, you go back to doing the same thing you were doing before. You can't allow these people to self-regulate. And then the SEC and the CFTC are part of the U.S. government, and they let these big firms do what they want.
No argument on any of it. And they're all members of the Monkey Shine Brotherhood, and another one of their Monkey Shine brothers who's similar to Milken is Spitzer. I spit on Spitzer. What a piece of crap. But he's a member of the Monkey Shine Brotherhood from Brooklyn, and that's where they all come out of. That's the center of it. It has been for over 100 years, a Monkey Shine land over there where the Bolsheviks originated and went out of there. And it's the heart. It's the heart of the of this evil, in my opinion. And if you're a member of the Monkey Shine Brotherhood, it's okay.
It's interesting you say that. I have a number of lovely Jewish subscribers who live in Brooklyn.
I'm not talking about
most of them are in their 50s and 60s. And their parents are in their 80s and 90s, and they can't leave. Now, once their parents die, which they will eventually, they'll leave and go to Miami. But the point is this. A lot of people are trapped there for that reason alone. But not everybody in Brooklyn's a bad person. There's lots and lots of good people there. But you're right. There are certain areas where you find criminal elements coming from.
Oh, I'm just telling you. If you look back in the history and you see, and Kuhn Loeb, the whole thing, the financing, the putting forth, it all emanates out of there. And Federal Reserve board members, it's not a diverse group. I want to dispel that notion that it's a diverse group, the Monkey Shines. When I go up Santa Monica Boulevard in L.A., like you were talking before, last Christmas, all I saw were 8-foot-tall menorahs all up the left side heading inland, so to speak. They would be heading east on Santa Monica Boulevard to the left. All I saw were 8-foot-tall menorahs. I didn't see one cross at Christmas time. And considering that L.A. has got a huge Catholic population, the Mexicans, immigrants, etc., you would think there would be some representation. But no, all the crosses got sued away. But no one filed a lawsuit successfully removing the menorahs, so they stood. 8-foot-tall menorahs all the way up Santa Monica Boulevard on Christmas time, not a single cross, a crucifix. That's acceptable as well. So this is the Monkey Shines for you. I guess you can't say anything about it.
It's a double standard. And it applies to race, too. There's no question. And L.A. has turned into, I lived in L.A. for 36 years. It's turned into a sewer. I left in 1994, and I've not gone back, and I probably never will. And it's a shame. But the politics and the illegal immigration have just simply destroyed the infrastructure. And there's no money. And they come up with one cockamamie-crazy thing to do after another. And I said, not with my money. I paid millions and millions of dollars in state taxes in living in that state. I paid 16% because I was over the top the first month. I made a lot of money. In fact, I had to pay both sides of my own Social Security because I owned my own firm, and that came out the first month too. It was incredible, the taxes I paid. So now I live in a place where taxes are reasonable. And but the point is that Southern California is doomed, absolutely doomed, and I'm an expert on it. And I don't know what the answer is, and we'll find out. You know, most of the immigrants who were illegal or in L.A., they came from Mexico. And Mexico is doing very, very well. And, you know, economically, they're doing very well. And
with China,
it might be a great idea and great... What's that?
No, the point is that America attracts malcontents. Like, I've talked to a lot of Chinese immigrants who've come to America, and I said, like, what's up? Why'd you come here? And they tell me that, well, they were in a camp for a while in some of the country because they were political dissidents. I've heard so many political dissidents. These are the ones that are coming to the country. There's a lot of people that love their country, and they don't want to live, but they have a lot of enemies, so they have to go. And so this is what we get to America, and we try to reform them into great Americans or something like that. But it's you know, it's a rough and tumble ride till the next 2 or 3 generations become, you know, full-blooded Americans, so to speak. But that's what we get. But there is a lot of people in Mexico that are copacetic. They love their country. They get with the program, and they enjoy it. They appreciate it. They don't want to leave everything behind to go to some other place. It's not easy to do, to re-immigrate. I've lived in other countries. I have the passport to prove it. And I know what the deal is living as a foreigner in a foreign land. It's not all peaches and cream, especially since most countries don't have a Statue of Liberty out front. They're not, like, accepting your poor huddled masses. If you've got money, like Bob Chapman or something, maybe they say, come on in. But if you're somebody who needs money or wants to make money out of their system, they're like, get you out of here, scumbag. That's how they view people immigrating. Most countries are like that. America is very unique in that respect. So I just want to say that up front. But anyways, it's getting so ridiculous here. I'm considering bailing, man, out of this place. I mean, this latest ratcheting up of the thing with Schmucky Schumer and his 14-inch wingtips is disgusting, Bob.
Well, I was going to say that what Mexicans should do is seriously consider going back to their country because there's a lot of opportunity there now. And that opportunity does not exist in the United States anymore. And I don't see it get any better anytime soon. I mean, I think in 2 years, Mexico will probably back its currency with silver. They're the second largest producer in the world. And there's been a movement on for the last, I would say about 15 years by Hugo Salinas Price, who owns Electra and Banco Azteca. And in those 2 places, he sells silver coins, incidentally, in Mexico. But beside that, unemployment is very low, something in the order of 5.5%, 6% in Mexico. GDP last year grew about 4.5%, do about the same this year. Inflation numbers vary, but they think they'll end the year with inflation around 4.2%, which certainly isn't bad considering what the U.S. is facing. And so there's a lot of opportunity in Mexico. There's plenty of jobs. And I think the only industry that's really been hurt is the vacation industry. And that's because the United States keeps on telling everybody, don't go there. Now, the only places they have problems in Mexico are in the border area and in Sinaloa, which is down the Pacific West Coast, down in Guerrero, which is where Acapulco is because they grow marijuana and poppies down there, the opium, and occasionally in other places. But other than that, it's like any other city anywhere. You have people who live, and you have areas that have low crime, very low crime. And one of the things that happened, and it's kind of funny in a way, but it's not, most of the professional criminals who lived in other countries illegally went into the United States. That includes Mexico. And so most of the hardened criminals are gone. They left for easier pickings. And that's, of course, one of the reasons why America has a higher crime rate than they really should. But, people don't look at that perspective. But anyway, if I had been an illegal alien and I had come to, say, Los Angeles 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, and inflation sky high, I lost my job in the building industry, what am I to do? And so the situation is better for him at home than it is living in L.A. And, of course, by living in L.A., he's subject to crime like everybody else is. And so it's not a good story, and it's going to get a heck of a lot worse.
Well, let me just say that, I think we live in a Jewocracy, and basically the monkey shines think that they're so smart and they're so talented. They've got their nose so far up in the air that they don't realize that the only thing that they do that's given them an advantage is to be willing to do anything, immoral behavior essentially, and pass it off as okay and just be omnipotent. This is a limited life type of mentality. And really they're not very smart when it comes right down to it because their whole system is crumbling. And I'm happy to hear countries like Mexico or Hong Kong, we're going, I'm not going to be live here. We're going to be just as a recorded archive. Thankfully, thanks to, like I said, I think Alan Greenspan did us a favor by running the system off the rails and putting it into a really weak position right now. And I'm glad alternatives are coming to it globally. They will save us from ourselves, basically. And so I really look forward to that. I think we need to return to a more moral way. I think reformist Judaism has been a failure to the ethnic Jewish population all around the world. Reformist Judaism has got to go. And Jewish people, in my opinion, need to return to the holy books and get right with God, and then God will give you Israel. That's what your Bible says. That's what your Torah says. That's what your holy books say. Go with that. Reform your behavior, get right with God, and then God will give you it. You can't rely upon the Rothschilds and reformist Judaism. They're not God. Even though they like to put themselves off as God, they are not. That's all I want to say on the whole thing. So Jewish people out there, if you think I've ever said, Bob isn't. Bob's always very supportive of them. I may be a little bit critical. But I'm saying go back to your holy book that was written prior to the Rothschilds, prior to reformist Judaism. And it's hard. It's tough love. You know how your God is. But listen to that, and you'll get your Israel. That's the proper way of getting it. That's what the God said, okay, through his prophets, etc., and his holy words. So, but they're not. They want to take the easy way out. And let me tell you something. The easy way out oftentimes is a bad way. So, period. So I'm going to say on that. And I want to say, please go to silverphysical.com for all your silver needs. They sponsor this show.
Well, give us some more information on them.
Silverphysical.com.
What's their phone number? What's their email address?
I'm going to have to check with the sponsor on that. I think that's a good point, Bob. Thank you for bringing that up.
I mean, if they're going to sponsor the show, let's make it so they make some money. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if they get good prices. Yeah.
All right. We'll have to talk with the sponsor to give them more complete advertising, and I'm very, very disturbed about that. Yes, thank you, Bob, for bringing that up. And, Bob, tell us about the International Forecaster, because all you cheap Charlies got to just, all right, get your free issue, realize how important it is, how much, stuff is in there. You got Bob's commentary at the beginning of the Forecaster, so you can get an update. Like he mentioned the stuff about what's happening in Hong Kong, alternative to the Comex. I wasn't aware of that. So Bob's up on this stuff. So, Bob, tell us about